But let's see what's coming up for you, Aries. So we open with the Daughter of Air in reverse. Now this is equivalent to the Page of Swords in the tarot. And the Daughter of Air, it's funny, the message I'm getting from this card is watch your words as April opens up, because the Page of Swords has to do with, first of all, swords represent thoughts, ideas, beliefs, communication, all that. So the page is usually the youngest of the court cards and represents inexperience in that field, or something that is still a child, something that's still learning, someone that is learning to wield that weapon. And so often, Page of Swords can be sort of like a child blurting something out. It can be refreshing in terms of how honest it is, and Page of Swords usually declares what's true for them. But when we see it in the reverse position, it's the lower expression of that card. And so it can mean being blunt or being cutting without realizing it, or without seeing the consequence of your action. So I'm just seeing the opening with Page of Swords in reverse. As April opens, be careful with your words. Or it's sort of also saying, like, don't run with scissors. Like, just take an extra second to think of the repercussions of what you say or do. That's what I'm getting from Page of Swords in reverse. Then we go into Star, Son of Fire, and Medicine Man. Interestingly, two major arcana that is surrounding you, Aries. I'm really reading you here as Son of Fire, whether you're male or female. This really just has to do with the Knight of Wands, or the Knight of Fire, who is someone who's willing to experiment with fire energy, someone who's willing to be courageous. On the high side, Knight of Wands is someone who is daring and bold and courageous and just goes for it and doesn't really think twice. He's fast-moving energy. He's just like all action. But on the low side, he can be like cocky, or, too risk-taking, or he can be overly foolish because he's just like, let's just burn it all down right now. Like, let's just go. He can be a little aggressive, or jump to conclusions and jump to arguments. So this is kind of saying cool it off, be a wise person. This is Magician energy, which is creating what you want, having a single focus, not being spread out in multiple directions. Like, this is the kind of guy who runs after like seven people, or seven different. Say if he's hunting, he's got a bow in his hands here. So say if he's running after 7 of these game animals, the wisdom of Magician says just pick one and go after that. Go after one goal. Don't spread yourself thin. Like, don't run in every single direction. You'll waste your energy and you won't get anything done. But Magician says, you can have anything you want. You just need to make a choice. You just need to focus on it and narrow it down to one singular thing. And then once you accomplish that, you can choose another thing. So, and also Star is saying, have hope. You can have anything you want. Just wish for it. So Magician and Star are very powerful energy, but they're also very wise energy, and they're very soft. I mean, Magician can be trickster energy. He usually represents Gemini or Virgo because he's ruled by Mercury. And this is usually Aquarian energy, the Star, but they're both about having hope and faith in your dreams. This is about having hope in your dreams, and this is knowing how to implement or create those dreams. Having a vision is usually what Magician is about. And he says, abracadabra, what I say is what I create. So both of these are very hopeful, creative cards. And this is usually a card of action rather than, say, planning. And I'm kind of getting that these two are like the wise people informing you, Aries. Like, don't spin your wheels. Don't go in every single direction. Have hope that you can have what you want, and choose carefully. Choose wisely. Like, put your focus on one goal, and then your efforts will be well rewarded instead of just like frittered away, like running in all directions. So that's kind of the message that I'm getting there. This is saying, watch your words. Keep your eye on the prize. in many ways, Aries. Like, keep your eye on what you want to create, what your dreams are, what is it that you want to bring to yourself, and that's where you show up. Stay in the middle of that. You know, stay with your actions working towards, you know, your dreams here in the background. Keep those in mind as you go forward. So that's the opening of April for you. And for some of you, this is going to be around your birthday. But this whole month is an Aries birthday month. And then those of you who were Aries birthdays from the last, you know, week or so of March, this will also apply for you for April. What else do we have? 8 of Fire, Insight, along with Father of Earth and Daughter of Earth. So this is a nice combination. We have communication. For some of you, it may be literal. For some of you, it may be communication between a father and a daughter, whether you're the father or the daughter. What I see here with Insight, this is usually, again, having to do with communication. And what I'm seeing here is that as the moon gets into Aries and as the Mercury comes out of retrograde in the middle of the month, communication will start to flow again. We'll start to get information. We'll start to get insight about where we want to go forward, because King of Earth and Page of Earth, they're very good planners. They're very logical, very practical. For some of you, it may be going into business with a parent or a child. For some of you, it may be spending time with loved ones from your family or communicating with loved ones. I'm even getting, for some of you, it's communication with loved ones who have passed on. That's very possible. Or maybe a reuniting of communication that now exists that did not exist before between, say, a father and a daughter. So it's a wonderful time, Aries, to communicate and to plan about where you want to go next. It's a wonderful time to be practical. That's what the earth element represents. Practical about what the next steps are. And I'm going to say it may be a slow moving energy, Aries. Even though it's now going forward instead of being held back, I see the wheel in reverse here. And when the wheel is in reverse, the wheel represents time and chance and luck. It's the small medicine wheel here. And wheel represents timing. So still saying that something is maybe not the right timing, or that you don't want to force something to go faster, or that you may not want to delay something, that you just need to allow it to unfold at its own natural pace. So when I see wheel in reverse, it makes me say, what are you trying to ask the world to do differently when it just wants to unfold at its own natural course? Are you trying to speed it up, or are you trying to slow it down? This is saying remove any doubts, fears, or resistance you have to letting things just unfold naturally as they should. Even release your ideas of how you think things should go is also what wheel in reverse says. Because, you know, the universe has its own order. It kind of knows, especially if you're dealing with a family member here, if there's new communication between family members, don't have expectations of how it has to go. Let go of those. That's what the freedom of this eagle is on here. It's just like letting go, letting the divine guide it, especially in terms of timing and pace. Let the pace unfold naturally, because you will be going through a transformation at the end of April. A transformation that you may be resisting. This is the Death card in most decks. And it means letting go of something. There may be something that you need to let go of that you're having a hard time letting go of. But whenever I see that card, I always use this Buddhist phrase that says, let go or be dragged. There may be a transformation that you're resisting, but with transformation and the Tower card, this is called chaos here. This is, I mean, it's really interesting. You've got 4 major arcana cards that are about a big change, Aries. And this is your card here, the Emperor card. So this is the Aries card. I just want to show you. You go from the small medicine wheel, death in reverse or transformation, through chaos. This is a big tower moment. It may be something that rocks your world, Aries. And then here's the world in reverse. It's called big medicine wheel here. But this is the completion of a cycle, a major cycle. So with this, I mean, with all of these cards, it could be something really big. It could be a life change here. Aries. I mean, it may have to do, again, with family members. But I see, you know, with Death and Tower, it may be something that you're not expecting. And it may be something that you're kind of resisting because the small medicine wheel, I'm getting that some of you are going to be in denial about this. And it may send you into a frenzy like this bucking stallion. But I'm going to say, whatever happens at the end of April, allow it to happen. Embrace it. You know, there's a transformation happening for you. And I would say work with the energies that come up. Don't work against them. Don't swim upstream. Go with that river that's coming in, because it may be big. There may be some denial that this is happening, is what I'm getting with all three of these in reverse. And I'm going to say, look it straight in the eye. If there's a storm raging, or if you're going through a rebirth, again with that new moon in Aries, it might be a new you this month, Aries. For some of you, it's going to be very transformational, and you won't be able to be the same person that you were once you go through this. So there's kind of there's something big happening for you. I mean, it's a new you emerging at the end of April. And here you are, you come out of it being in your own full authority. You end up being the one in charge. This is Emperor. They call it grandfather here, but this is your card, Aries. And it's sort of just like being large and in charge. Emperor is the number 4 card. It represents stability, authority, rules, regulations, empire. It means you are the one who makes the rules. So I'm going to say that this is almost like passing through a fire, Aries. And, you know, even with this snake here in this world card, I'm really getting like shedding an old skin, becoming a new you. And you're being supported in all directions from this. But it's almost like there's some sort of initiation going on here. And then you come out as the head chief. So interesting stuff. Really powerful here towards the end of the month. But stick with what your guides are telling you in terms of hope and what you would like to create, who you would like to become, and you go from this son of fire, you know, the young knight of fire, to this emperor. This is really the storyline of this month, is you go from being the person who is willing to experiment with the fire energy to someone who has it mastered. Someone who, you know, the buffalo walks by his side and he makes the rules. He has the wisdom for the rest of the tribe because he has gone through all this. So again, male or female, these cards are representing you, Aries. And I see you may even be relying upon someone in the middle of the month who has wisdom for where you want to go. You may have to talk to someone about what practical steps to take who has already done something like this before, because you have a major, what I'll call spirit quest, or you know, it's called the Vision Quest deck. So you have a major vision quest towards the end of the month that really helps you develop into this emperor, the person you are, Aries.